It's the end of the day with Ray, folks. It's episode 2. I'm so excited about Impact. You know, I've had a chance to visit with some of the leaders and talk to some of the people, but today is really special because I'm in the DOT for short. But Impact, you know what they did? They built a SOC center. It is unbelievable. And I don't know if you can see behind me, but this thing is phenomenal, and I'll let these guys talk about it in a second. But it is an amazing story of the continuous growth and relevance of a legacy copier company that is now a full-blown IT services and security firm. And it's really exciting to witness this and talk to these guys. Today I have Patrick, and Patrick just became a partner of Impact, and Patrick heads up the entire IT business for the company. And sitting next to me is Jeff, and Jeff heads up DOT. And Jeff, you know, you had a lot of work to do over the last year getting all this together, and I know, Patrick, you've had a lot of work to do since you've been here. You know, building this infrastructure and getting these sales reps to go out there and give the right message, and you turn this thing into something pretty remarkable, and I really want to share that story. So I want to start with you, Patrick, because I talked with Frank Kuko yesterday, and you know, he said something that I think all of our dealer friends need to pay attention to, is that when he brought you in, you didn't sell anything for a year, and you were the one that was saying, yeah, we probably got to go out and make some revenue. And Frank was saying, no, we got to build the processes and build a platform and the foundation. Talk to us a little bit about that, because a lot of these dealer owners, they'll go get a guy like you, you know, and they'll just run in his office 2 days later and say, where's the check?
Yeah, that's pretty true. When Frank hired me, they were running a break-fix IT business based on time and materials, all reactive. It was sold as part of a copier deal or a DocuWare deal as block of hours. And so when I came in, we said the only way that we're going to make managed service work is if we get rid of time and materials and get rid of block of time, because the sales team's going to sell whatever easiest. And if you give them that opportunity, we'll never sell the managed service. So then we started building the program, and I had it a little bit built. I had some of my partners in place. I had a couple employees. And I kept telling Frank, like, hey, I have some opportunity. I want to sell these deals. And he kept telling me no, he wouldn't let me sell because he wanted it to be all the way vetted out. So when we actually were implementing with clients, it was at the quality level that Impact's known for. And so, yeah, he pushed back pretty hard. I stuck a few in, my sister's company, a handful of other clients I got to bring in. But otherwise, no, we didn't start selling. In fact, I did sales trainings. I would go to every single office. And at the time, we had like 14. And I go to every single office and I talk about the program and what is managed IT, because these are all copier sales reps. They didn't really understand the new model, right? And I was telling them block of time is going away. Stop selling that, right? So then I got them excited, and then I had people bring me the opportunity, and then I had to say, wait, slow down. Frank won't let me sell yet. And then we kind of just busted the doors open. I had so many reps knocking on my door that we just started doing it. He didn't even know when we closed the first couple deals. I kind of asked for forgiveness after we did it.
Well, you know, Patrick, what's funny is a lot of times successful IT companies are known to say no more than they say yes, number one. And when you have a sales force, especially coming out of the print sector, where they can just sell anything. You can't sell them a big one, sell them a little one, sell them a used one if they can't buy a new one, lease it if they don't have any money. But when you get into IT services, it's like, okay, I realize you're going to try to sell someone a server, we're going to make $5,000 gross profit on it, but if the place is a train wreck, we don't want that to be in our infrastructure. Are you guys that way?
We are not. So our program set the baseline, and we set that stage in the very beginning of the sales cycle. We talk about 5-year commitment, typically non-cancelable, and here's our base stack, meaning you got to have a managed firewall, you got to have a spam filter, you got to have security awareness training, you got to have backup in the cloud, you got to have local backup if you've on-prem gear. And if you're not in line with that, then we won't let you be our partner. We won't even do the assessment, because the goal really is keep the lights on and make it as secure as possible from an IT operations standpoint. Because then you can now start having the conversation with those clients about how you use technology for business gain. If you're in that break, fix, repair loop, you never get to that higher level conversation. So we set that precedent early, and yeah, we had to turn down some business. We'd have what a rep thought was a good opportunity, and I'd go in and say, well, here's what it looks like, and here's how we do it. Well, we just want you to do this one project. No, thank you. We don't want any business.
Well, people don't understand that if you have we talked a little bit yesterday about the persona of the client that you're seeking, but if you're out there, selling the Lamborghini driver, I call it, and you start putting a bunch of people that are driving Ford Pintos and they're all going to the service lane at the same time, how do you give them all the same service? And some people will say, we give all our clients the same service. Well, that's not really good if you base it off the Pinto driver.
Agreed.
And so that's always been a problem in our space, because they can't say no most of the time.
Yeah, I would agree, but when people say, oh, you're selling the Ferrari and I just need the Pinto, I don't agree with that. I would say that the Ferrari that we sell, everybody needs. In fact, as we get into the conversation about DOT, I would maintain that in today's day and age, it's not responsible to run your IT operations without a SOC, without eyes on glass from a security standpoint, not an operations alerting standpoint. But the reality is business owners aren't there yet. The budgets aren't there yet. A lot of C-suite still thinks my sysadmin's taking care of security. And the truth of the matter is they're different skill sets all the way around. And so we still do separate the businesses, and we could get into a little of that. But on the operations side, the Ferrari isn't the Ferrari. The Ferrari is the bare minimum to operate.
That's a great point. Great point. Well, let's jump over here to Jeff, because you're now at the point where you spent a year screwing around. You built all this, and now we got to go make some money. So tell us a little bit about DOT and the mission. I know that you're going to use this for your own internal customers, but I think there's a great opportunity for you to use this for other channel partners too as well. So, give us a little overview of what's going on and where you're at.
Absolutely. So the program we've built, it's similar conceptually to the MSP business. We leveraged that as kind of a source of reference for what we designed for DOT. So basically the goal is implement a full stack, identify all of the gaps in a client environment, and address those with effective tools and services. So here at DOT, we have several different services that we offer. They really hinge on different types of experts. So virtual chief information security officers, virtual compliance managers, they're providing that level of service to client organizations where they can't necessarily fill those gaps. They can't even find the people to fill those positions internally, whereas they get access to an entire team of experts here at DOT. Additionally, we've got the SOC capabilities that we offer, so detection and response. So it's not enough in today's day and age to have a network that is functional. That baseline security that is delivered effectively by a really awesome MSP like Impact, that's essential. But building capabilities on top of that to then detect attacker activity inside of the network, in the devices, across the users, the applications, and the data that exist throughout an organization is essential.
Do you see, because I think there's a lot of co-management going on now too, even in the MSP space, let alone the security space. But do you see that as a big play for you? Maybe you have a 700 attorney law firm, and obviously you're probably not going to go in there and be their MSP because they need people on staff, and that's not your core. But at the end of the day, they really don't want to be policing themselves, so they would hire folks like you to do that. Do you think that'll be a big part of the business for DOT?
Absolutely. So organizations that have that staff, they're running their business, they have those effective subject matter experts. They don't necessarily have the IT and cybersecurity personnel on staff, and they're really hard to find. Basically, 1 in 10 positions in cybersecurity is filled today.
Wow.
That means there is a huge gap for talent, and that's what we fill at DOT.
How have you addressed that? Because obviously, you guys are the new kid on the block. I assure you, if I'm looking to get into the SOC business and I walk in here for an interview, I'm probably going to take the job. This is like a kid going to Disneyland if you're in that business. But, how has that been?
So it's a challenge. It's a challenge in any industry. When you want to fill those seats, you have to find qualified, effective personnel. You have to find the talent. And in certain cases, you have to not only find that talent, but identify people who have the aptitude, bring them in, and provide them with the skills and the track and the training through experience to get them where they really need to be. So part of what we're doing here at DOT is not just hiring experts, we're building experts.
There you go. Which is a great place, to do that. And you'll also, are you having to bring people in from even other states? It's not the old days where you just put an ad in the paper. You're looking at the whole United States to find people. Are you guys finding help on other locations that you bring in here?
Absolutely. We had a penetration tester who flew out, he joined us from Virginia. And of course, DOT is an organization that services the entire United States. Unlike a traditional on-site SLA scenario, we're able to provide our services to anyone throughout the entire United States. So every organization needs our services, and the truth of the matter is the attackers, they're operating from outside the United States, from anywhere that they want to in order to effectively deliver attacks on client environments. we need to be able to do the same.
You know, I really believe that there's a place in our channel, the print channel, if you will. I should say our channel because you're not really in the print channel anymore. But you know, as you watch the resellers from the imaging side, if you will, you know, transition into IT, I really think there's a play for them. They don't necessarily need to be an MSP, maybe they need to go out there with you on the back end and deliver SOC services to their larger clients. I mean, is that an easier play, Patrick? I mean,
it's something we're working on building right now. I mean, there are a lot of SOC services, SOC as a service that MSPs can partner with, and they're popping up. New ones are popping up every day. You see the M&A activity happening daily. It's crazy, actually, what's happening. Most of them are part of a service, right? Managed EDR gives you some protection, but we offer at DOT is a true cyber mesh or a layered security program. And it's pretty rigid if you want to be our partner, but it's the only way to provide that level of protection that we're selling, right? So yeah, we are building a channel program, and we have an ideal partner profile that we're looking at. Because again, that DOT security team has to make a partnership with the IT operations team.
Sure.
Because we're not going to execute, right? We're going to protect, defend. Maybe we find a remediation plan or create one, but we hand that to the operations team and say, hey, you have to go execute this. So there's a teammate type of partnership there. And some of the smaller MSPs or the less mature MSPs aren't doing enough operationally yet to actually layer the cybersecurity on top of it. So we're looking for ideal partners to start building our channel program with.
Well, you know, it's really amazing. It is remarkable what you all have built here. And I would ask you a follow up with this question here is that, you know, Frank is the visionary guy.
Yes, he is.
And, you know, without a team behind him, you know, you all and your teams behind you, visions are blurry and visions don't come true. And so, you know, what you all have done is really remarkable. And it's exciting to be able to share that story. I look forward to talking to you some more, but, you know, keep it up. And I know now Friday, tomorrow, you know, we're having this open house here. And can you just give us an insight? How many people are coming to that thing?
I think we're 200 plus at this point.
It's actually over 350 registered current clients and prospective clients are coming out.
Fantastic. Well, there's a lot to show
day.
off here, and I mean, you guys should be really proud of it. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, I'm hoping in these first 2 episodes you realize that getting into IT security services isn't a hobby. It's actual real business. It takes a real business plan, and it takes human capital, like the folks sitting next to me here, and like the folks that were sitting next to me yesterday. Things just don't happen. People have to make them happen with discipline. Because everybody watching me knows this, status quo is the killer. All that'll be invented. Don't get stuck in status quo, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.